Now, international response. Democratic Republic of Congo restores death penalty after 20 years. And then Samia's impact on sports development is highlighted in the Citizen today. The rise of green gold still being highlighted in the Citizen. Then in the other news, why LATRA has locked old Dalas out of the Dar es Salaam terminal. Now lastly, the East African newspaper. Kagame to his party, give me a successor. He says enough is enough. The veteran leader, as he goes for his 4th term, even as ruling party shows no interest in replacing him, but he's seeking for a successor. How true of a statement is that? The East African is giving you details. Then East Africa's Big Three out to save integration agenda. The Big Three, President Yoweri Museveni, President Samia Suluhu Hassan, and President William Ruto at the front page of the East African paper. Then eyes on the region is caught as Mathuki now digs in. Also, Iyala 6 open skies for ease of travel and trade. In markets, Kenya gets headroom for more IMF cash. As in money, Red Sea and Suez crisis reaches East Africa. As also in the magazine, you can read about the People's President, intriguing plot of Bobby Wine film. You can read about it still in the East African. As the outlook, the haves and the have-nots, gap between poor and rich has widened within the East African region. Then opinion, defending the indefensible. Buembo on why debate on looting is reprehensible. That is within the East African this week.
Oh, interesting stories there in the press. I like the pictorial that was on the front of the East African, where the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu, is sandwiched by the 2 great men from the East African countries of Uganda and Kenya. Interesting to look at, especially me being a woman and this being a Women's Month. I like seeing Samia Suluhu there. But anyway, we'll take a short break and we will leave you with One Direction with you and I. When we come back, we will be speaking matters politics. Let's have a conversation regarding the recently concluded registration of the NRM.
Who is playing, who will win at the end of the day? What does it mean to Ugandans and the electorate? Well, that is so much. And also something that interested me was the Bishop of Mukono yesterday when he said, fathers, wake up, take your role. You're giving us poor quality husbands for our daughters because you have neglected your role as fathers.
Wow, the weekend was pretty deep when it comes to news, and I like that last bit you shared. Yes, in the effort to empower the girl child, unfortunately, we have left the boys behind. So I love the fact that now religious leaders and politicians and many opinion leaders in our society are actually waking up and calling upon fathers to play their role. Because I normally tell you, Chirabo, no woman can teach a boy child how to be a man.
But it was a message heading to the girl children.
It was what?
It
was Good morning, Jerome Paul.
Good morning to you. The message was heading to the fathers to step up in their girls' lives. Simply because today, many of the issues facing the girl children clearly show that they have no presence of their fathers in their lives. The
that
alcoholic girls that we are having today, the girl children that are actually heading into prostitution. When you look at so many cases clearly show that either the fathers have neglected that role of stepping up and guiding these girl children in the right path of being better women for their husbands in the future.
I agree with you, because I normally say again that the first exposure to a man for a girl is through her father. Her first love, her first understanding of the ways of men is through her father. So if the father is not present, obviously you're going to have a broken society with women that are almost like men, because no one showed them how to be gentle and how to be loved on. That's very important. today. So fathers, but still going back to the boy child Sonko, I think you will agree with me that in as much as a mother is there to nurture and, you know, teach manners and everything, if the father, there comes a point in a boy's life where he needs a male figure, right?
Very true, very true. And for the boy child, because he has to be picking lessons of this particular mentor or guardian, but pretty much someone who comes in as a father or a fatherly figure. Because at the end of the day, if you're a man and you are likely or you are expected to kickstart off a family one day, if you didn't have someone who guided you through fathership, then you might fail out, because you won't know how to deal with women, because you can't deal with the mother of your children first off, and then also you may fail to man up as an individual, which is very important. And in a generation where many women say that it's actually filled up with weak men, weak in many aspects according to the women, you will definitely say it is spineless men. And you will agree with what Monica suggested, that all the men need to at least have a guide, a male guide or a male figure in their lives. But that aside, a very good morning to all our dear viewers, and a very good morning to all Ugandans. It's a brand new week, and here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 18th of March 2024, and this morning Chantal is not taking any prisoners. Good morning.
Good morning, Polly. Welcome back from the weekend.
My goodness, I am back.
I cannot take it back because it is true. There is a percentage of the men and world over that are actually spineless. And in my own opinion, it takes two to make this work. There is a role a woman plays and the role a man plays. That is why all of us take the blame for whatever is happening to both the girl child and the boy child in the different parts of the world. Otherwise, good morning and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show. Just to let you know, you have 0% chances of rain today. So as you are stepping out of your house, as you're carrying whatever you're carrying, please be mindful. You might want to dress light. And also if you...
The easy way to pay. Dial star 165 star 3 hash or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda wange. Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a...
I know, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. But what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Well, thank you so much for sticking with us here on Good Morning Uganda. Today is the 18th of March 2024. We are way past the halfway mark of the month, and we are about to close the first quarter of 2024. Now, among the achievements, at least for the National Resistance Movement Party in this first quarter, is that they were able to start and even finish successfully their national voters registration, which commenced last week, and it ended by the end of the week. Now, this is where I would like to have the conversation, because 2026, that is the general election that we are going to have, is drawing closer, and of course many political parties are now starting to put their ducks in a row, putting their affairs in order so that they may be ready for the elections of 2026, when we will be choosing new leaders, or voting or electing, depending on what the adjective of you fancy. But we will be choosing our next leaders, from the president to members of parliament to LC chairpersons, many people, and all of us Ugandans are supposed to be part of this, at least if you're 18 years and above. Now, for the national movement, for the National Resistance Movement Party, they have what they call the National Voters Registration. What does it mean? What does it mean for the party? What does it mean to you as the voter, as an aspiring politician? This is what we are delving into this morning. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and I am with the old man of the team, or the clan of Good Morning Uganda, and that is Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, plus Chantal Olive Akandinda. Good morning, Robert, once again.
Oh, good morning. And of course, our viewers, thank you for being with us. We really don't take you for granted, but also appreciate the fact that every morning you wake up with us as we kickstart your day with a lot of information that's very relevant for you.
Now, speaking about information that is relevant for our viewer, first of all, Robert, what does the National Voter Registration what should I say, exercise for the NRM? What does it mean, and what does it mean to the party?
Well, we must understand that we held a referendum in this country, and we agreed that we are going into multi-party dispensation. Remember, previously we were in the movement system, and that meant that we all belong to one political party. Or actually not a political party, we all belong to just a movement system, and even then when you were being nominated, it was individual merit. Now, but we had history of parties in this country, and there were so many voices saying, release us, let's go back to our political parties and build our political parties. So we held a referendum, and we opened political space to various political parties. Now, NRM is the ruling party, because so far we must say that it's the party that Ugandans have constantly voted into power since we began our multi-party dispensation, and it's the party ruling us. Now, for any party worth its salt, there must be certain things that you can prove you're a party, apart from being registered by the as a political party, competing, and one of them is you being able to know the members you have. And how you get to know the members you have? You must have a registrar. You must have a register. That when you talk about NRM being a mass party, you have proof to that. That in this district, you have this number of people. There are members, they registered with us. Even where possible, those that had national IDs, we even have their NIN numbers. So this is proof they have not been coerced, they have been persuaded or convinced or out of will that NRM is the best party. They should join. So you have proof of your membership. And proof of your membership helps you even to plan. For example, sometimes parties have activities where you need to know the number of people you're going to have. If you're going to have a rally, you need water, things like that, you know. If you're going to have a conference or a workshop for members, you depend on your register to plan better. But also for elective purposes. Who is a member that is coming to contest? Still you go to a register. Who is going to vote in an NRM in a party election? People may remember we had what we called the Kamyufu for NRM, party primaries. And in some places they were very dangerous.
Yes, yes, yes. You mean in 2020?
In 20, you remember, very dangerous. And people would ask for you, when did you join NRM?
What shows?
What shows? You know? Then we also had political prostitution. You know?
And
People
there was a term at one point that was, may his soul rest in peace, but remember the late Area Kategaya, when he moved from NRM to FDC and back to NRM, and people used to say he has Kategayad.
So, these are all things that if you have a registrar and you have a proper party register, you can be able to say no. It is coming to 2026. Robert, you're not going to come from Nope. Where were you when we were getting our register? When we were getting our register updated, when we were registering new members, where were you? I just want to take you back to something that happened in 2021. We had a lady, a honorable member of parliament, who joined NUP and ran for mayorship, and she was given a ticket, I think in 24 hours. She has been in one party, things are not moving very fast. Then there was some chaotic within the mayor race in Kampala. You had Jose Chameleon.
Oh, even Jose Chameleon himself.
Then in just a twinkle of an eye, Nabila Naga is Sempala for mayorship. So these, you're able to curtail these. You're able to know who are your people. Of course, people change, mostly in a democracy, but it helps you to know that these are the people, we plan for them. This is our strength. Also to know your strength. So that if you say in this district, our register says we have this amount of numbers. So if you are calculating, if we have a candidate there, and people understand that doctrine and are well shaped into NRM, then victory is ours. Because when you look at our friends, they have this amount of people. They have this number, so we have this number. So let's contest, let's invest so much, we shall win. Or to say no. If we can have a merger, because our strength is weak here. So that is how good our unupdated register is for any political party.
Okay, so now still back to you, Robert. There is, you did touch on the issue of national IDs. And my question here is, those that didn't have their national IDs, were they able to register? And are national IDs important in this registration process?
Well, there are some challenges that came out with this process. When His Excellency was launching it, as the chairman of the party, he gave some guidance. However, in some places, this was not taken as the president or the chairman of the party had advised. He said, yes, it is good to register a member, and of course the national ID, the NIN is what they wanted. At least the NIN is very important, because it is the only way you can be very, very sure. Say if you want to locate Robert Chirabo Nyointono, and then NRM member in Machindi, and there is anything you're questioning, then if you have my name, you have my phone number, you have my NIN, then it gives you more assurance than just saying I have a name of a person. But we all know that not all Ugandans have national IDs. And that is a reality, and that is a fact. So they said, as long as the NRM committee in that village can identify with that person, because they know them. Registration was being done at village level. At least where I come from, I have conk evidence. The NRM chairperson, who is not the village chairperson, but in the NRM structures, knows NRM members very well. Knows that even when I'm looking for a vote, I'll knock Chirabo's gate, I'll knock Chantal's gate, I'll skip the lady in red, I will knock Yefogawo, and then I will continue, you know. He knows that these are our people. And so, and has a committee there. So the president said, if those people can identify, register that person. But we had places where they said, no, you don't have a national ID, you're not registering. Then also another issue that came up was of those that stood as independents in the previous election. Remember, we had the NRM primaries. But some people believe they were defeated not in the right way. They were either cheated out or technicalities, and they choose to stand as independents. And some won, some were defeated. Now the president said, if these people still insist they are ours, it is okay. Let's register them. If they take oath, if they show us that proof. Now some said, for you, we cannot trust you. We are not going to get onto, we are not going to register you. Then others...
Before you actually even move on, we are not going to register you. Or under which criteria does the party decide not to register someone that says, my allegiance is actually to NRM?
And I've come to update the register
exactly.
because I'm a member. Then someone says, but you stood as an independent. And I think this is something that we need to amend our political laws. We are taking it lightly. But for every election, it has been a problem. That I subject myself to be a party member. I come in an election where it is party internal democracy. And we believe we've all come, let the best win and represent our party. Then I'm defeated. Now,
and now you can't, sorry to cut you short, now you can't blame someone who doubts your loyalty towards the party, because if you failed to agree with your party and then went and decided to be independent, that means that you have other motives, or you could be having some selfish motives. Ideally, you should be falling under the vision of the party and following what the party, what happens in the party. So if you decide to get yourself out, then go, maybe win or maybe fail, and then now you're coming back to update the register, you have to have at least some bit of convincing to do for people to believe that you're not there for your own personal reasons.
And now if you came across Chantal when she's the one registering, but why I say we need reform members, even when these people stand as independents and they come to parliament or they win, do you know what NRM does?
What does it do?
Or other political parties? They form an MU, a memorandum of understanding, and then someone is seen as independent, aligning with
a certain
but I know some key people
so
in NRM.
We're not disciplining.
Chirabo, there are some key people in NRM, key people in our government as we speak today, that are still members of NRM who stood as independents and won. So probably what we are missing here, or maybe what we are misjudging here, and I stand to be corrected, we know that politics is a game, right? And it is politics. Sometimes some dirty games are going to be played within there. So is it so out of the ordinary for a person to say, I know that in this community or in this constituency, people love me. If in the party elections I have not managed to get the ticket to stand for the to stand on that party's ticket, I can come back as an independent, not because you have selfish interests, but because you believe in yourself and you believe in the electorate, that they have faith in you.
I'll give that to Shata.
Well, the thing is, that's why I said you'd have some convincing to do. Please do note also that inside the political party there is politics.
Yes.
So this person could have been disgruntled.
Politics is a dirty game.
Yes. This person could have been a disgruntled person who felt like it was unfair. Maybe the primaries were not done fairly. There's also that we've also seen cases where so they tell you, now you know what you're going to do. This time you need to step down, let the other person take office, and then next time, when it's time for primaries, you'll be the one who will be funded and supported for you to run for the seat in that particular area. We've seen this, we even saw this happen with the speaker, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, this person could have felt disgruntled and unfairly treated by some of these policies or some of these ways that happen on the inside. But then again, it does not take away the fact that they would have to have some convincing to do, especially because the very same people you have to convince could be the same people that were convincing you to first step down previously.
And also, in multiple dispensation, I think we also still have a challenge as political parties. Recruitment, because political parties are supposed to recruit, they're supposed to mentor people and then get the best of leaders. Now, it is a shame
At what level are we mentoring? For instance,
goes-
I will even ask, we know that Democratic Party has the Young Democrats.
UID.
Yes. Does NRM have the same? Does it have mentorship avenues for young politicians?
And you just talked about UID. I must say those people have produced a breed of politicians. Very smart, very eloquent when it comes to the English command. You know, there is something there with UID. Of course, I don't know Vlet if it is still the breed where they had the likes of Mabike, Honorable
Even
Mbite, and
the
so
Minister of Justice
yes,
and
they had a
Constitutional
certain
Affairs
breed
started
of
as a UID.
UID, and
Yes.
if you came across them in their strength by then, it was a force to reckon with.
Well, you're
Well,
talking
on
about a
Friday-
party that has been here for now over 70 years.
Well,
It's
even
it's coming to 70 years, actually. Coming to
NRM
70
has been
years.
here for 38, so
And in
it's
power.
a pertinent
But
question.
going
And
back
in
to-
power, do they
yeah.
have mentorship avenues for young politicians? Do we have that?
One thing at least I know, they have a directorate headed by Rosemary Seninde. Former it was headed by, I think, Honorable Kasamba, may his soul rest in eternal peace. And it's meant to identify, recruit, and mentor. Now, it is a shame for a political party to have party primaries. You select a candidate that you've elected as your political party to represent you. Then that candidate,
Goes against the party.
then, no. The party selects theirs that wins this party primary.
Yes.
And then another contestant who failed at party primary, they go to the field and the voters elect the one that
Was rejected by
was
the party.
rejected by the party.
What does that mean for a party? And this is not happening in only NRM. It is happening pretty much in all political parties that we have. But does that mean that sometimes we play politics and take our eyes off the ball?
Definitely, as you can see, I mean, like I told you earlier, when you get back inside, there is some politicking that happens in there. Some are fronting a particular person. It could be because they're related to them. It could be because they don't believe in the other person's abilities. Any reason can be cited as to why you are not given the ticket, or the reason as to why you lost in the primaries, and then now when you go on independent, you're given, you're voted into power by the, by the masses. So inside is where now some of these parties need to check and find out where are we making the
They
mistake.
need to check their internal structures,
yes.
because that's where the rot is starting.
Definitely.
Because if you ask me, and I'm just a layman, I'm not a politician, it, like Chirabo said, it makes absolutely no sense for a party to give a ticket to someone and then someone within that party decides to be an independent. In my head, it's like I'm the head of the family. I've said Chantal is going to lead us in prayer, but my young daughter who thinks that she's all that, she's like, no, I'm going to lead it, whether you want it or not. I don't understand it, but probably a politician could explain that and we get it even better. But there were some grievances, and I'm coming to you, Chantal. There were some grievances during this registration exercise, I beg your pardon. And I would like to know some of those, and maybe Chirabo would tell us later what the National Executive Committee had to say about those.
Well, I'm trying to find the best way to put this information. I have to be a bit tactical, but maybe before I say anything, maybe Chirabo should.
Chirabo, some grievances were brought to the fore during the registration exercise, and would like to know some of these, because they normally say that a problem starts like a small thing, like a tumor starts like a small scratch. And if it is not well handled, it is going to now become something dangerous. We are heading into the 2026 general election. And as the party, NRM, is was carrying out its registration exercise, we already had disorganization. And in as much as it has been said that it went on smoothly, we know that some people were aggrieved. What were some of their grievances?
Well, first, like you said, we must say it was a success to the NRM party. In some places, there was a very huge turn-up. In my area, I remember when they said time is up and they're taking the register, many people still wanted to be registered. And I even received a call from someone within the structures, but lower levels, telling me, Robert, if you can avail us with a program to tell His Excellency, they extend this. We've not had enough time to register, all that and all that. But the biggest challenge was omission, leaving out people for reasons best known to those that were registering. Because some of these, the party had given its stand on them. One are those people that were once in the party and stood as independents. Now, many of them wanted to be registered or to update because they're in the register. If you remember when you had the issue of rebel MPs, the Sechkubos, these people still will tell you, but me, I'm NRM. The Honorable Serekos, by then, we are NRM and you can't chase us out of the party. But their actions were confusing in one way or the other. So now, look at this village chairperson, with his committee having such a person. And to him, he understands that this person is no longer NRM.
Because they were independent.
In his understanding. Or sometimes the person has said certain things that they feel, for them, they are not party. So they say, Gwenetta. Person comes, he's tossed around, till they tell him, no. We are not going to include you. Then there are also internal bickering. Remember, this is done by NRM people. And we have politics, even at lower level. Some felt that this was the time to tell their opponents, now if you miss out in this book, I now not have you as a competitor. Because you're not in the NRM registry. Therefore, you cannot stand. Technically, you're kicked out.
NRM ticket, yes.
Because even to vote, we shall look at this. That is, the party members look at the register, then say if you are voting a village chairperson of NRM. You know, they also received bicycles some time back to help them in mobilization. NRM chairpersons, I usually see the chairperson of my village once in a while. He cleans it very well and then moves around the village for mobilization purposes. They received, and I think, received motorcycles, something like that. And of course, I think the chairman district maybe will receive cars one time to come. So you can't be an NRM village chairperson with all privileges, including a bicycle.
And that means even in the structure,
in the structures, you can't.
Yes.
Because you're not there. So that was the biggest problem. Leaving people who would have been there for either political purposes and maybe how they handled the politics. But also the issue of national IDs, I think to some, didn't sink properly in their minds. They didn't understand it. That a person who didn't have a national ID would register. Now I want to talk about areas like Kakubiro, Mubende, where our Prime Minister did very good work overseeing this. Now it was discovered that in some villages, for you to get a loan, someone stays or retains your national ID.
That's true.
Yes.
Now,
in as much as we know that it's illegal.
we have those that had national IDs, but they were with money lenders. Not official money lenders, but even someone who would say, my car is sick, I need to treat it, give me this amount of money. One would say,
collateral is the national ID.
Bring the national ID. Because at a certain time you'll need it, so you'll be forced to pay. I may not require a collateral from you that is very serious. Chantal wants 4 million. If I had to, I'm like, I know you need a passport, you travel so regularly, you need this, you need this. Later. Then someone will say, fine, have it. So now it was needed, but it was optional in case it wasn't there. So that you could identify this person.
Now, on the issue of national IDs, the NRM, the National Resistance Movement Party Secretary General, that is Richard Todong, he said, and I quote, he said that individuals without national IDs or those who have lost them but are known residents of the village should be allowed to register. But what you're saying is that some people that were carrying out the registration process were politicking and making this a do or die. If you do not have a national ID, we are not going to register you, in as much as the party executive is saying something totally different.
Yes, actually I had an encounter with one who came to me and said, but Robert, the party, and I tried to convince this one, said, no. For us? Okay. Finally, they were, okay, let her give us the NIN. And I'm like, but if a person doesn't have a national ID, but the one said, at least you should have registered and got a NIN. Now the people will disturb us come
26. Well, Cricket Derek Gagamel from Makindye Luafu says, good morning, Olive, Robert and Chantal. It is a good move for NRM as a party to register its people earlier on. Such details speak volumes for the victory of the party and indication of transparency, and saves time. For any serious party to succeed, they must have structures on ground, so kudos to them. Then he goes ahead to say, I encourage leaders not to just get excited about registrations and forget the primary role of service delivery. Thank you, Derek. Now, as we close, each of you in 30 seconds.
You had asked about some of the,
yes,
the grievances that were stated, and one was the fact that you had to be physically present for you to register.
So Ugandans in the diaspora, Ugandans,
Excluded.
Even if it is in neighboring
If you're in the
Kenya.
hospital and you're not in the area, then that means you can't be registered. And I think that would also be a bit of a challenge for those that are diehards of the party and would really love to be in the register, in my own opinion.
Well, 2026 is knocking on the door. We are already closing the first quarter of 2024, which means that we are now speaking in a matter of months before we choose our next leaders. So if you missed out and you didn't get registered by your party, unfortunately, there may be things you may not be able to be a part of because you're not in the national register for that party. But we will keep our ears on the ground regarding any new developments in the upcoming elections. We will be here to give you more information. For now, that's all we could get for you. My name is Olive Monica Najima, and I've been with Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono and Chantal Olive Akandinda. But guess what? Good Morning Uganda still continues.
Did you know that Agomas started way back in 1905 in a place called Gayaza, and particularly a school called Gayaza High School? So this school is a girls' school, and Agomas was introduced by a man called Gomaz, who introduced it as a uniform, as a school uniform. It was a suit for these girls that they used to put on as they go for school, for their usual classes, daily classes. But later on, it became a very important suit in the traditions of Uganda. And currently, Baganda, Basoga, and other tribes like the Banyankore, they're also adopting this traditional attire. I am Irene Alena Misang, and this is the GM Tourism Express, where we talk about everything, diving into depth about anything that you need to know about Uganda's tourism. So today we dive into about the traditional wear called agomasi that we usually put on in Buganda for traditional ceremonies, like introduction ceremonies, going for weddings, going to in-laws, anything that you think about that is traditional, this is the attire for you to put on if you are a lady. It shows respect, it shows dignity, it is also decent. So as a full African woman, you need to have this maybe in your wardrobe. You need to have it somewhere in your wardrobe, such that anytime you have an event or a function, you just grab your gomasi, go out in a respected form, but also in a traditional way, showing that you are really proud of your culture. So today we are at Ewafe Cultural Village located in Mukono, and we are getting to know, when you dress with a gomasi, how do they dress it up? What do you need to know about a gomasi? When do you think you violate the gomasi? Everything that you need to know, the different parts of a gomasi, everything that you need to know about a gomasi, it is today. So just stay tuned in as we take you through how you dress up a gomasi. Thank you so much.
My name is Udaya Mayanja. I work with the Wafe Cultural Village, found in Agalama Mukono along Kayunga Road, 15 kilometers from Kampala to Wafe Cultural Village. Today I'm going to talk about a traditional wear called agomas. Agomas is an African traditional wear, usually put on by most tribes like Baganda, Basoga, Banyankole, and it started way back in 1905 in Gayaza, a school called Gayaza High. There was a man called Gomas. It was introduced by a man called Gomas, and it was like a uniform those children used to put on at Gayaza High School. And it was introduced in 1905. So I'm going to show you how to put on a Gomas, or to wear this. They usually put on gomasis like going for yula, kuhingila. Gomas is usually violated when like a person wears it when going to a club. You can't put on a gomas when you are going for clubbing. So that violates a gomas. Now I'm going to teach you how to put on. I'm going to teach you how to wear a gomas and some of its parts in Uganda. Gomas, we are going to learn how to put it on. Gomas has several parts. For example, I'm going to say them in Uganda. Zino giyitibwa emikono, gano ne gayitibwa amapeesa, bwakyuka bwati eno eyitibwa kabba, kano ne kayitibwa akakweso, kano kalayini kemulaba kano kayitibwa akakweso. Kana akasemba wansi wano, where is it? Kano tukayita this one. Kana akalinga, this one like a design is called mu Luganda bakayita omudalizo. Kati tugenda kulaba tutya bwe twambala gomas. Kati ennyambala eno gye mbayigiriza naddala nga tugenda ku mukolo ogw'okwanjula. Okay, when we are going for an introduction, tuyina okwambala okwo kwe bayita okuwogola mu Luganda. Kati kye ngenda okubalaga olunaku olwaleero. Kati kino bakiyita ekitambaala. Naye before putting on a gomas, tuteekamu ekikooyi munda nga tetunaba kuteekako gomas. Kati we tuba tumaliriza ne tuteekako kino kissa kyaffe oba ekitambaala. Omukyala waffe ono agenda ku mukolo gwa kwanjula. We are tying our the chitamba being folded now. Yes. So now our gomez is done. You can see how beautiful Allen is looking and smart she is in a Buganda cultural wear called agomasi.
Hope you've learned about Agomasi in Buganda. It is a very important attire that you need to have as a Muganda lady, but also an African woman. So that is it that we had for you today. And quickly going in for a travel tip. For traditional ceremonies, please make sure that you have a traditional attire on you. Don't just come in, you're going for an introduction, and you have your jeggings on. They are good clothes, but please make sure that you have a traditional attire on you. And as a traveler, if you're going somewhere and you have some pocket change on you, please make sure that you purchase some of these traditional attires to carry back home. You never know when you'll need one to dress up. Thank you so much. Catch you tomorrow.
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Uganda, and it's now time for us to check into the world of business this morning. It's a fruitful Monday, and we have to begin it as we tend to end it, if you're to ask me. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Now, the business world in Uganda will definitely be happy with this news, because when it comes to matters financial integrity, Uganda is ticking the right boxes. Now, coming in, it does reveal the European Union has boosted Uganda's financial integrity by deleting us off their anti-money laundering list, or what you could call the blacklist. That was putting us at a high risk of losing out on quite a number of investors. Because if you're to attract investors, you would not want to be on a blacklist that shows that your country is amongst those that push for money laundering and terrorism financing. When you look at this particular move was done on March 15th, and that came after a few weeks from February 23rd in Paris, that is in France, when Uganda had earlier on been removed from the grey list by the Financial Action Task Force. And of course, with this grey list also meant that Uganda is no longer amongst the countries that are on high risk of money laundering or putting it into the same basket as terrorism financing. Now, in this particular regard, you do realize that the EU's decision to delete Uganda off its anti-money laundering blacklist, clearly setting its regulation that was published last week on Thursday, that is binding and applicable in all its member states. Now, when you look at this particular one, which is a global action to tackle money laundering, terrorist financing as well. This is something that gives Uganda, or puts Uganda in the perfect spot to keep attracting investors. As much as we look at the start of this year, which we did kick off on a high note, by the way, when you look at the third South Summit, you also look at the Nana Line movement that we hosted this year, you get to realize that there are quite a number of deals that were signed. And some of the reasons as to why many investors were also worried about the same, besides the fact that Uganda really has been known to be a very huge investment destination for the many investors. But there are also some matters that needed to be cleared for these investors to feel secure and safe to continue investing. And one of which is ensuring that Uganda no longer belongs on the blacklist for money laundering. And besides that, Uganda is putting itself in the rightful direction, if you are to ask me of the same. Now, these researchers show how money is laundered and terrorism is funded because when you go into such lists, it clearly shows that your country is leading or is among the countries where money laundering is continuously growing. And this is a list that Uganda has actually been on for some time. Normally we are always on the same list for a while, then we get off it. Then of course investigations continue to go, because when you look at the international bodies and how they track illegal money schemes and how different investment deals are done, this is where we get into such positions. Now in total, more than 200 countries and jurisdictions have committed to implementing these standards as part of a coordinated global response to prevent organized crime, corruption and terrorism. Countries and jurisdictions are assessed with the help of 9 associate members of the organization that tackles issues to do with money laundering, or the financial task force. And then also looking at these particular organizations, they also work hand in hand with the International Monetary Fund as well as the World Bank. Now the EU said in its publication that the Commission regulated or delegated regulation for the financial risks of third countries with strategic deficiencies, especially in regards to financial matters, putting Uganda at at a better advantage now for many investors to come through and invest. Now, considering the high level of integration and international financial systems, the close connection of market operators, the high volume of cross-border transactions to and from the union, as well as the degree of market openness, and then also looking at any anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism, which has for over the years been posing a threat to the international financial system and also a threat to the financial system of the unions that govern different financial decisions across the world. And well, of course, for the Ugandan perspective, you can get to realize that it's now the opportunity for us to continue luring investors to come and invest in the country, because we are now getting a huge vote of confidence in that space. Now, earlier last week, there was a report regarding how Makerere University students are losing tuition fees and millions to betting. Now, betting and gaming has become a new trend within Uganda, but not only Uganda, Africa and the entire world. But when you look at Africa, simply because the level of unemployment is increasing year in, year out, you get to realize that many are actually seeking for betting as a source of income. Now, the worrying state of the betting and gaming industry is the fact that it's also having various regulations, but it is not only around the unemployed, because it does seem like everybody is engaging in betting. And just of recent, very many females are also getting into betting as we speak today. With the help of these particular mobile phones, or rather the smartphones, you get to realize that many are having 1, 2, 3 or more betting apps with them. This has actually become an addiction for the many. But looking at it from the business side, the worry is, however, it is becoming a very huge concern at the Uganda Revenue Authority in matters to do with regulation, and then trying to understand how betting works. Because according to what is coming in, URA is expressing concern about gambling activities. When you look at the growth of Uganda's gaming and betting industry, it has actually left the taxman playing catch-up. According to, if you'll excuse me, according to in-house information coming in from the Uganda Revenue Authority. Now, the growth of the gambling the growth of the gambling industry is fueled by the fact that today's customers find these practices appealing, because they are accustomed to using their smartphones. It's no longer like the other days where many used to go to a betting company or to a betting branch, get a receipt printed out, and then follow up on everything. Now you can easily follow up on any betting activity using the comfort of your phone. Now, also looking at the growth of the gambling industry, which is fueled by the growth and the usage of mobile phones, and how betting companies are actually also using these particular online platforms to push for their agenda, you do realize that URA is facing a difficult issue to play catch up and follow up on the betting and gambling activities in Uganda. Now, when you also look at the situation coming in, internet gambling is becoming a normalized activity in Uganda, and then its expansion is outpacing the tax body's understanding of the phenomenon, as well as also outpacing the existing tax laws meant to enable Uganda Revenue Authority to collect revenue for sustainable national development, as URA's tax investigations department continues to worry about the same. But of course, the taxman is trying to continue establishing ways into which they can easily cop up to speed with the growing gambling and betting industry in Uganda, and also to see how they can easily tap into the taxation of the same. Now, also, consequently, URA finds itself in a situation where they have insufficient knowledge on internet gambling. When you look at the software, you look at the licenses used by the gaming houses in running the business, then the limited technology for real-time monitoring of the number of transactions and the money involved, inappropriate regulation and legislation, ultimately leading to the loss of much-needed revenue for national development. And then you see, with betting, by the way, the funniest bit about it is every minute there's someone betting. There's someone putting stake onto something. There's someone trying to, bet. There's someone withdrawing. There's someone depositing. And as URA seeks to continue taxing the gaming companies, you get to realize that you have to establish how many times the people are actually betting, how many times are people depositing, how many times are people withdrawing, because you do realize it's a profitable venture for many of those who have understood the betting bit. However, it is psychological harmful to those who have become addicted to the phenomena. And then also the betting companies tend to earn a lot of money from the same, as many Ugandans continue to bet year in, year out, or day in, day out. So how about that? But however, the worry is, though, with the betting companies, many Ugandans are actually crying foul to the fact that there are some allegations of many who do not receive their money simply because at times they've won so much of the money, and at times we've heard of stories where certain betting companies or betting branches used to close up after someone hitting a huge jackpot and they do not have that money with them in the bank. So these are some of the cases that you keep hearing. But of course, the Uganda Revenue Authority, from the perspective of making sure that we develop Uganda together by paying taxes or remitting these taxes to the taxman, they want to make sure that they understand how the gaming and the betting company works, especially with the fact that now it has become quite difficult in regards to the online betting, as the online gaming also grows. So they have to establish different strategies on how to tap into those venues, on how to earn more money from the same. So which calls upon for more facilities or more infrastructure to help Uganda Revenue Authority to cope up to speed with the ever growing trends of innovation, especially in the world of gaming and betting in Uganda today. And well, lastly, from our world of business this morning, we look at the forex market, courtesy of the Bank of Uganda. The US dollar did close at 3,879.92, according to what the Bank of Uganda highlighted. That is as of Friday evening. If you are to look at it from that regard, morning time was buying of 3,881.54. 3,891.4, while closing time 3,891.54 for those selling. Midday, 3,879.92. Then selling 3,889.92 as well. Then looking at the Great Britain pound, buying at 4,941.85 while selling at 4,954.59. The euro was buying at 4,219.80 while selling at 4,230.59. And then the Kenyan shilling was buying at 28.84 while selling at 28.92. The Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.52 while selling at 1.53. And the South African rand was buying at 206.76 while selling at 207.29. So that's how you will find the different currencies if you're moving out to transfer or exchange at any given Forex Bureau. Good morning. I'll be back tomorrow to give you more details from the world of business. Coming up now is the traffic updates with Olive Monica Najuma.
Well, it is another day, it is another Monday. We attack the week again by traversing, first of all, we on Uganda's road. So how do we get to the central business district or to other places that you're moving to? Now, if you're coming from the areas of Makindye and Entebbe, we are starting off in Kibuye to see how we can get to town. We are going to go through Katwe and then move forward. But where we are right now, we are experiencing traffic, some traffic coming in from Mobutu Road, joining that roundabout right in the heart of Kibuye. And of course, now following the route of Queen's Way that goes through Katwe, we see that there is smooth flow of traffic, at least for now. Now, in the other roads surrounding the area, like Juko Road, we are still experiencing smooth flow of traffic. Moving ahead, still on Queen's Way, there is a bit of traffic jam that is coming through from Kayemba Road. And moving ahead, we are still experiencing smooth flow of traffic, at least on the side of Queen's Way for the meantime. Now going forward, still following the route of Queen's Way, it is still a beautiful morning on the road today. We still have smooth flow of traffic as we move along. Now for those going through Nsambya side, huge sections of the road from the roundabout here around Clock Tower are actually closed off. There is a big section of this road, especially the new side of the road, that is currently closed off. If you're heading to the areas of Nsambya, you may have to look at alternate routes to use because you're going to find diversions ahead. Now, if you don't want to lose time, because the further we go, the more traffic jam you may experience because of the diversions, then you might as well think of an alternate route as of this minute if you're coming to town but you are intending to pass through Nsambya. And also for those that are coming in from Nsambya side, you might decide to use, if you're coming in from Kansanga, Kabalagala, Gaba Road, you might have to consider using Namuwongo side and then connect through an industrial area to get to the central business district. Now transitioning into Mukwano Road, I see that some sections have a bit of a delay, especially when you're going to reach the area that has Press House Road. Here we have some bit of yellow and red zones indicative of slow movement of traffic, but still following Mukwano Road, we see that as you join the roundabout that connects you to Access Road and 6th Street, in this juncture, you will experience a bit of traffic jam, especially for those that are coming from Mukwano Road side. Now, those that are coming in from Access Road, there is a bit of a delay that you're also going to experience as you connect to Ginger Road. Coming through from 8th Street, I see that there is smooth flow of traffic there, and 6th Street is also having smooth flow of traffic as of this morning. Now let's have a look at Ginger Road and see how best you can get from one place to another. Now, in this section where Access Road connects to Ginger Road, there is a bit of a delay that you will encounter here because I see some orange zones, but it may be because there are traffic lights here. Now, if you head from Ginger Road and you connect to Yusufule Road, those going to Dewinton Street or coming from that side, you will experience just a little delay as Dewinton Street connects to Yusufule Road. Now, moving forward with Yusufule Road, there is smooth flow of traffic with just a little delay at the roundabout. And if you're coming to the areas of Nile Avenue, you will still have smooth movement. There is a smooth movement from Yusufule Road roundabout to Nile Avenue, and of course here at the subway just outside of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, you might experience a bit of a delay, especially if you're coming in from Saidi Barry Avenue. But moving on still with Nile Avenue, for the most part, it is a smooth flow of traffic. I see that Colville Street has smooth flow of traffic over here, but some areas now over Colville Street before it crosses and joins Kimathi Avenue have intense traffic jam as of this morning. Now, Kimathi Avenue looks red for the most part, so if that's the route you're headed to, you are kindly advised to think ahead and see if you can use other routes. Now, going back to Kampala Road, I see that there are orange zones here that are indicative of slow movement of traffic. And then up ahead where Pilkington Road joins Kampala Road, there is actually intense traffic jam in this juncture, coming through from Loom Street joining Kampala Road. And of course, the most part of Pilkington Road is a red section. What you see there is a red section of Pilkington Road, which is indicative of traffic jam. And of course, I see a bit of traffic jam that is going the side of Speak Road. But continuing with Kampala Road, some sections have smooth flow of traffic. In other areas, you might be delayed. Well, that's it for this morning with traffic updates. My name is Olive Monica Najama. Good Morning Uganda does continue. We will be having Robert Chirabonyonyintono on the agenda, and I'll be right back tomorrow morning to share the same.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja. We are one.
Use that word pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Hams Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko pamoja?
The cardinal role of a government is maintaining law and order, safeguarding citizens' rights, and providing essential public goods and services. Throughout its tenure, the government has consistently upheld these principles. This foundation creates an environment conducive to delivering crucial social services to citizens through diverse approaches such as taxation, strategic budgeting, and effective policy implementation. A transformative education system, advancing healthcare provisions, enhancing social welfare, and propelling infrastructure growth, all of which continue to evolve daily to cater to the population's expectations. Supported by a meticulously organized network of ministries, government remains committed to serving its citizens. Coming soon on your public broadcaster, The Front Bench, your interface with the government every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with Joram Paul Sonko, only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to the Uplift Official channel. Today, we will be exploring powerful herbs for pain management. Nature has provided us with an array of herbs that offer natural relief. While it's essential to consult with a healthcare professional before using herbs for pain management, here are some herbs that are commonly known for their pain-relieving properties. Number 1 on our list is turmeric. Known for its vibrant yellow color, this powerful herb contains curcumin, which possesses anti-inflammatory properties. It can be used to alleviate joint pain and reduce inflammation. Simply add it to your daily meals for a natural boost. Next up, we have ginger. This potent herb has been used for centuries to soothe various types of pain, including migraines and muscle soreness. Its natural compounds, called gingerols, help to block the enzymes that cause inflammation. Enjoy a cup of ginger tea or add it to your recipes for a flavorful and effective pain relief. Moving on to peppermint. This refreshing herb is not only great for your breath, but it also provides natural pain relief. Peppermint oil has a cooling effect that can help ease headaches and muscle tension. Apply it topically, or try sipping on a peppermint tea to experience the benefits. We also have eucalyptus. Known for its invigorating aroma, this herb offers more than just a pleasant scent. Eucalyptus oil contains compounds that have analgesic properties, making it perfect for soothing nerve and muscle pain. Simply apply it topically or add a few drops to your bath for a relaxing experience. Number 5 is chamomile. Known for its calming properties, chamomile tea may help alleviate tension and promote relaxation, potentially reducing pain associated with stress. Whether you're suffering from a headache, menstrual cramps, or muscle soreness, chamomile can help alleviate your discomfort. Number 6 on our list is lavender. You can apply lavender oil directly to the affected area, gently massaging it into the skin. Alternatively, you can add a few drops of lavender essential oil to a warm bath or use a diffuser to fill your space with its soothing scent. This versatile herb has also been shown to improve sleep quality, reduce stress and anxiety, and even enhance mood. Number 8 is willow bark. Willow bark contains salicin, a compound similar to aspirin. White willow bark can effectively relieve pain and inflammation. Number 8 is devil's claw. Native to Africa, this herb has been used for centuries to reduce inflammation and alleviate back and joint pain. Number 9 on our list is arnica. Applied topically, arnica oil can help alleviate muscle pain and soreness caused by bruises or sprains. Last but not least is valerian. Not only does valerian root promote relaxation and better sleep, but it can also reduce pain associated with menstrual cramps. Thank you for watching our video on powerful herbs for pain management. Remember, nature has provided us with these incredible remedies, so give them a try and experience the natural relief they offer. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content. Have a fantastic day. Hello everyone! Welcome back to Uplift Official. Today's video is particularly important as we delve into several ways to support cancer prevention. While there's no guaranteed method to prevent cancer, incorporating certain lifestyle choices can contribute to overall well-being and potentially lower the risk. So, let's jump into the top 10 natural ways to support cancer prevention. Number 1. Maintain a healthy diet. Fill your plate with a rainbow of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. These nutrient-packed foods provide antioxidants and essential nutrients that support overall health. Next up is regular exercise. Engage in activities you enjoy, whether it's walking, jogging, or dancing. Exercise not only helps maintain a healthy weight, but also boosts your immune system and promotes overall well-being. Number 3. Maintain a healthy weight. Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial. Excess weight, especially around the abdomen, is linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. Aim for a balanced diet and regular physical activity to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. Number 4. Quit smoking and avoid tobacco. If you're a smoker, one of the most impactful steps you can take is to quit. Smoking is a major risk factor for several cancers. Avoiding exposure to tobacco, including secondhand smoke, is equally important. Number 5. Limit alcohol consumption. Moderation is key when it comes to alcohol. Limit your intake to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 drinks per day for men. Excessive alcohol consumption is associated with an increased risk of certain cancers. Number 6. Protect yourself from the sun. Protecting yourself from the sun is crucial for preventing skin cancer. Use sunscreen, wear protective clothing, and avoid prolonged sun exposure, especially during peak hours. Number 7. Stay hydrated. Staying hydrated is often overlooked, but plays a vital role in overall health. Drink an adequate amount of water daily, and limit sugary drinks and excessive caffeine intake. Number 8. Manage stress. Stress management is essential. Practice techniques such as meditation, yoga, or deep breathing exercises to reduce stress levels. Chronic stress can have a negative impact on the immune system. Number 9. Regular health checkups. Regular
Good morning and thank you for being with us. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda, where we discuss issues of national concern with a guest or guests. Now this morning, so much has been happening on the political scene of our country. We've had so much happening in the August House. That includes the corruption exhibition. Well, Friday, the Speaker of Parliament came out and said she will not respond to rumors. But also, this has seen a lot of disorganization in the political terrain, mostly in the opposition, where we are now seeing some utterances coming out, and one wonders at times who is who and who is working for who and where is the future of the opposition of our country. Now, joining me on set, I'm still expecting another guest, but so far, I have former presidential candidate. He was a presidential candidate 2011, toured the entire country looking for support. He is a member of the DP bloc when I last hosted him. He is also in the new Holy Alliance. That's what it means. He will explain more. He's a seasoned politician, but also he's a man who has done so much building and maybe breaking of the opposition in this country to one point. Recently, he's made headlines all over various media stations, giving what is termed as facts and giving his opinion on the recent issue of Matthias Mpuga, former leader of the opposition, and NUP as a party having suspended him and replaced him with Honorable Francis Zake. Join me, welcome, seasoned politician Samuel Walter Lubega Mukaku. Hope I've left no name. Good morning.
Good morning, Comrade Chilavo, and good morning, comrades in UBC, especially those behind the scenes that are never seen. And good morning, viewers.
Now, Mukaku, to begin with on a lighter note, what does it mean to be a member of the opposition in a country like Uganda?
Quite challenging, a very arduous game, if you can call it so. Maybe call better. And sometimes it requires patience beyond what one can imagine. And if you unfocus, but also hope, like my and your friend Obama said, the audacity of hope. These are some of the values that you need to hold very, 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 very dear and hold on to tenaciously.
Now I'm hosting a man who once contested for the top office of this country. You ran for presidency in 2021, and after you've never stopped. You've tried so much to keep it within the opposition. As I speak, I don't know where you fall. Once you are in People Power, then in DP Bloc, then Holy Alliance. Today, for the benefit of our viewers, let's first understand where is your political, where are you now, so that I can know directly even how to flow.
Ideologies never change. Values never change. And fundamentals never change. But formations can change. Even government formations do change. If you can look back in the history of Uganda, how many government formations have we been into? So if government formations can change, how about individual, our people's formations? Definitely, I will always remain a DP. The DP that you know and I know. Not the DP of Norbert Mao. MPD and the company advocates. I mean the DP of Ben Chwanuka, Mugwanya, Kasolo, Semogere.
Does that still exist? Or it's just within your mind?
But I have told you, ideologies never change. These days, when people create political parties, they create them around individuals. It wasn't the case before. It's an unfortunate development in our politics for people to think that a political party is an individual, creating small gods, which is now a big crisis in our country. One of the biggest crises, the crisis of mafia cultism. Mafia cultism. Now you can see it pervades from NRM, which is in government, up to the smallest of all parties.
So the opposition is not safe?
And unfortunately, we can create more because what is up, the political phenomenon now, is you can see it is pushing people to continue believe, continue believing in political cultism. And you hear, now, are you Chirabo or this? It started as, are you Semogerere or Museveni? You remember? And Mzee Semogerere tried as much as possible to try maintain institutionalism rather than individualism. Yeah? And what do you see today? Even in NUP, which is one of the youngest parties, are you Mpuga or... Are you not hearing that? And that adds on to the problem that we already have, the crisis that we already have, in addition to capture, which is capture of the state institutions, bureaucratic structures, our laws, our voices, our power, our economic command height, social economic command height. That's a great crisis that we never had even during colonialism.
Now, we want to move to the topic of the day, which we have seen...
So, what I wanted to say...
Yes, you can stop.
I am DP, because DP, that DP, you understand, was deeply entrenched in ideological values, value systems. It had a constitution where all of us believed we knew our rights, and the Bill of Rights was in the constitution. And we believed in that and were tenacious to it. Our grandfathers. I am also DP block, therefore. Why? Because you know why the DP block. The idea was the party was so pulverized. We had breakaway parties and breakaway groups, and we were not seeing each other, TJ, and UID, DP that remained. So we needed to get back together, fight one electoral ground, yeah, alongside the spine of ideological values that we had and policies set, and we still believe in that, apart from Norbert Mao and Sranda. So the DP bloc is still very firm, but unfortunately, as you know, in the last elections, part of the DP bloc went to NUP, and part of it remained outside, and we still we are still the same people. You can hear what these NUP people are saying. We don't want you, go away, DP bloc. If a child tells a mother that my mother, you're stupid, and you're nonsense, and you should go away, then you must wonder what is happening to the real brain of that particular kid.
Recently, I saw you again in the Holy Alliance. Isn't this, yes, master ideology remains. But Mukagu, don't you feel at one time that maybe it is political prostitution you're engaging in? Today you in people, we see you struggling to do some work for power. The next day, Holy Alliance, this confusion. What do you...
Okay, let's unpack the word political prostitution on the basics of it. Who is a prostitute? That you go from one man or woman to another. Okay? When you give birth to a child and to another child, is that prostitution? So I gave birth to UID. I gave birth to Nkoma Zambogo first, UID. I gave birth to TJ. I gave birth to People Power. Were they in existence? I have now given birth to Holy Alliance. And there is a reason why these formations. Sometimes I hear people say, you see, President Museveni is a great man, and many others like him, Thomas Sankara. Why are they great? This is a man who began, as he claims, who began in DP. Quickly, maybe, at that stage, quickly felt, no, let me stick with UPC. Now, from UPC, FRONASA, UPM, mention them, NRM, NRMO, now NRM, Sigala Kumeini, even when he's in power. Now he's giving birth to Pilau. What are you talking about?
Well, I'll be having a very short break, and I'll be joined by another guest on the panel as we dive deeper into the parliamentary exhibition. And I'll introduce him when he gets on set. We'll return shortly.
mbadde nkaabira mukwano gwange ennaku ezo namu
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Welcome back. We are joined with Honorable Mike Kennedy Sebaru. He's a man, as we talk about Parliament this morning, I must say a man with experience because he was in the CA, if I remember very well, representing Central Region. He was in Parliament. He went to the East African Parliament, the Pan-African Parliament. He is the President, Rotary.
No, I've been immediate district governor.
Immediate district governor, you know those things of the rich. I don't understand them very well.
Not these districts we know.
Rotarians, Rotarians, you know, many of us and many people believe if you hear the title Rotarian, Mike Kennedy Sebaru, there are things that come along with that. But join me, welcome Rotarian, Honorable Mike Sebaru. Thank you so much for being with us and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me and for hosting us. I'd like to say good morning to our viewers and those that follow us on various platforms. But I also like to say hello to my brother, the man who has been in the trenches. I've always interested him to join us and enjoy politics in peace, but he's still hesitant, but maybe one of these days. But I really want
The struggle wants to strangle him.
No, he struggles for people, then they struggle against him.
Honorable, welcome. In the interest of time, I must really go into the topic of discussion this morning, and I want to start with Honorable Sebaru. Now, Honorable, recent, we've seen reports talking about corruption, abuse of the August House, a place I know you cherish so much, that you were there for some good time. And actually, even when you go back in the days of our constitution in the CA, you are very vital there. First, when such reports come out, what do they mean on the integrity of the August House and the political landscape of our country?
Yeah, thank you very much. That is a very serious question, and we need to appreciate it in perspective. What is an August House? What is a parliament? What are the fundamental responsibilities of a parliament? You know, a parliament has four major responsibilities in terms of their engagement. One, representing the people. Now, that means you are representing the people of the country. Some people make a mistake when they get to parliament and they're talking about my constituency. Once you get there, you are talking for and on behalf of the entire country. The second responsibility...
The owners of that institution.
Yes. The second responsibility is legislation. Again, when you make laws, you're not making laws of your constituency. You are making national laws, laws for the entire country. The third responsibility is oversight, to ensure that you make government accountable, to ensure transparency, accountability, and best practice in terms of good governance and corporate governance. When you are doing that again, you are doing it for the entire country. Then maybe a fourth one is appropriation, because the parliament passes the budget. Now, that is sharing the national cake, ensuring inclusion, equity, and diversity. And in all that you do, again, you must have the big lens. And that is where you begin to appreciate the work of parliament. Then secondly, what would also be very important in the subject matter we are debating is that a member of parliament is an honorable member. Now, to be honored, to be a man or a woman of honor, you must be beyond suspicion. You must be beyond reproach. And that is why an honor is not claimed. An honor is bestowed upon you. When I move around, I can never introduce myself as Honorable Mike Sebalu. I introduce myself as Mike Sebalu. Then the people honor me with that honorable. And there are many audiences where I've gone and introduced myself as Mike Sebalu, and they say, no, he's honorable. Now that is bestowed upon you. And it has qualifications to be, it is earned. It is not demanded. It is earned. Because there are many situations where someone is, you go somewhere and people say, Mike Sebalu, and you're like, don't you know I'm honorable? No, you earn it, you don't demand for it, you don't claim it, and you earn it through the way you behave, in what you think, say, or do. You must be honorable, you must be transparent, you must enjoy a high degree of integrity, you must have courtesy, you must have decorum, even the way you present yourself.
Yes.
So what is happening now is casting a lot of doubt on all those attributes. And so Parliament, as an institution, has a big responsibility during this time as the exhibition is unearthing whatever they are unearthing. One, there are two aspects we need to look at. Is it the truth that is being unearthed? Is it the truth? If it is not, then what is the truth? Again, the onus is on Parliament to say that you are saying this, but the facts of the matter are A, B, C, D. And that's where data now comes in. You know, you use data, you use all your sources to demonstrate that what is being shared on the social media platforms is not the truth. So some of the statements that are coming out, you know, brushing off this whole idea may not be the right thing to do now. I think the right thing is to bring what is shared and counter it with the data, with the facts, with the evidence, so that the people can judge on the basis of that. So it is a bit of a challenging time. One, it is challenging in two aspects. One, we've just moved out of a disruption, COVID-19 disruption. It disrupted a lot of things, business and otherwise. So people are struggling. The economy is struggling. The taxman is pushing the agenda of meeting the tax targets. So people are really having a rough time. So the tax they pay, the money they pay, they really want to hear good news coming out of it. They want to hear good stories of value for money. A hospital is up, a road has been fixed, this has been done. So for stories like what is coming out to be the ones at this point in time of the disruption can really be a very disturbing scenario. Then secondly, government is talking about rationalization, even merging government ministries, departments and agencies in an effort to undertake a cost-cutting measure. live within the means, to cut the cloth, the design of the attire according to the piece of cloth that you have. So that process is a very important process.
Yes.
But largely, it is going to be undertaken within Parliament. You have to make laws to make the rationalization possible. Now, the place where such rationalization is supposed to be has stories around it that don't show any rationalization at all. If anything, that reflect the opposite. So that brings the credibility test. So Parliament is under obligation. The communication team at Parliament, the leadership at Parliament should engage in a constructive way of providing good answers rather than engaging in a bit of controversial, trying to be confrontational and otherwise. I think it is a question of addressing Parliament, maybe a session of Parliament, a special session is called, and Parliament comes clean. They come and clarify and clear and give information regarding the allegations, because these remain allegations. I can't call them facts. They are allegations. But as long as you don't come up to give the facts, the allegations are given opportunity to hold water. So the responsibility is in the House to really come good, and they owe it to the people, because they need to be transparent, they need to be accountable, and they need to give value for money. They are paid and paid very well. So the representatives, the laws that they are making, everything that they are doing is done in the best interest of the Ugandan population. So when the population has been given some information regarding their representatives, I think it is within their honor to keep their dignity and decorum by putting the record straight. Using information and data available to them to clarify and clear the air. Otherwise, the air is saturated with all this.
Very polluted, I must say. Now, coming to Mukaku, Honorable has given us issues of Parliament properly and what should be done. These are allegations. The Speaker came out and said she will not answer when Honorable Theodore Sechikubo looked at things differently. Allegations, rumors, more so where she said they are targeting someone because of her stand when we were looking at issues of homosexuality and fighting it. Now, I want to go political and I'll leave alone the institution as Parliament. All this began when we saw the National Unity Platform suspending Honorable Matthias Impuga, where they believed he got, would we call it appreciation, extra gratia, or whatever you may term it, to a tune of 500 million. And this is where I saw this spring from. Now, there have been views of people who are saying this wasn't a good move for the opposition, because now what we are seeing is finger pointing, releasing information saying you're neither clean and you lack moral authority to carry on this. Friday, Honorable Zake was nominated to replace Honorable Mpuga. All these people are looking at it as not safe, not the best way to go at such a time for the opposition.
Maybe, comrades, you can help me. What is the English word for kwemulisa, namiemuliso, or semiemuliso?
Honorable Semjus from King's College.
I'm not Semjus.
Honorable, my apologies. Honorable Mike is from King's College. I was just running among the members who are implicated with certain issues on this. Honorable Bodonia.
What are you?
Kwemulisa.
Showbiz? Or?
Yeah, it's more of
I think
showbiz. It is basically showbiz.
During the Honorable Sevalu's time when CA, those who were before him in the NRC and now, and the other parliaments before, and slightly shortly after, that is the 6th, 7th, and maybe the 8th parliament. They did not play politics of showbiz. Honorable Michael Kennedy Sevalu, Ekule Park, Ben Wacha, Okelo Kelo, the Sequoiamas of the day, when they stand, as he has said, you know you have a noble responsibility to represent the country, not your business. And as he has mentioned, before I go to your topic, as he has mentioned, there are also other ways, other avenues which can augment this kind of exhibition, which we call the credibility test, passing the credibility test. For example, there are institutions, if you're talking about, like some of the opposition leaders have come, it's immoral, it's corruption, it's this. Fine. You have the tools and the weight to cause CID to investigate an individual before you can even come with the empty allegations. You have the weight and wherewithal to cause the IGG to do its work, to cause courts to do their work, to cause other institutions, including those of State House, the Nakalema type. We named it Nakalema, now Nakalema is no longer there. Before one can say your allegation is full of bias, then when Chirawo is convicted by any of those organizations, the long talk is cut short. There is no way Michael Kennedy Sevalu will come to Parliament and say, I'm not guilty of this, when the courts of law, when the criminal investigation department, they have done their job. The whole thing will be, Michael Sevalu, now you just forfeit your whatever, and because we need to remove the bad apple, the bad tomato from the house. So that is one other way. Now, going to what you said, the problem of the kainistas in the opposition playing the game of the Gorbachevists and the game of Maguireists becomes a big problem as we stand now
for TV,
in the opposition.
For TV it is instant communication. Someone may not, it's not like a newspaper that someone will read again. You have read now you've brought in Maguire.
Yeah, you have read the story of Cain. I don't want to go to the Bible this morning. And those who play those types of games, we call them the Kainistas.
Okay.
God never even blamed Cain for whatever happened, or Abel. But the problem of that smoke, going back to the old adage, a greater conscience needs no accuser. A greater conscience needs no accuser. Now, and God wanted to save this kind of such I wouldn't call it felony. And he told, please continue. You're a good man. You work hard. But Cain did not listen. Finally, he ended up having blood on his hands, because he was now damn committed to eliminate or exterminate Abel. This has lived with us as human beings, even politicians, leaders. If we are not careful and we try to behave like Cain, we shall end up with blood on our hands and let us lose heaven. I am informing my comrades. Stop behaving like Kainistas. Stop the game of Gorbachevism. Gorbachev, we all know Gorbachev because you said instant communication.
I want the people in Buyukwe to understand
how Gorbachev brought down the Soviet Union. Yeah? A plant of the Americans, of the other side, how he was groomed, he went through that. And what are we seeing in the opposition today? If you didn't see it in DP, UPC, or FDC, now it is incarnate in NUP. If you can investigate, it is incarnate in UP. Maybe Honorable Seva will help me, because sometimes when I say these things, they think Mukaku is biased. Then how about Maguireism? Scoring our own goals. You know a man called Maguire? You know Maguire? If you're a man, you know. Maguire was bought from Leicester. Super player. Super backs. He comes to Man U, is given captainship. First team. But after 2 years, Man U changed coaches and managers. No improvement. They brought in other players, no improvement. Until when they realized there's a problem with Maguire. Maguire, you are our great player. We love you, but you'll no longer be our captain. You'll no longer be in the first team. Remain as a member of the squad. Today, Man U is winning. It is now in the semi-finals, as you know. It has moved away from.
I have a tall man here who understands more. Maguire is
up
there.
To fourth or third or fifth. That's better. This is what we are saying. In the opposition, we need to clean ourselves of such. We may have players, probably who are very expensive, who seem to be good, but I think we must stop the politics of Maguireism and Gorbachevism and help ourselves overcome the obstacles and problems that we have in order to liberate this country.
Now, Honorable Mike, you wanted to supplement, but even before you come in, there are claims that the Maguireism we are seeing is steered by NRM. One political analyst pointed out and said, what we call this parliamentary exhibition, why is it targeting a few members of the opposition that seems to be shining and springing above the rest? Said, who is giving this information? It must be tactfully by your opponent as the opposition, very cunningly releasing tips to disorganize the opposition, that still there is an invisible hand of your party in amidst all this.
You know, there are people who will always have answers. They are what they are because another person is what he is. You find that is very defeatist. I'm poor because you are rich. I'm short because you are tall. I'm handsome because you are ugly. No. Things don't work that way. And for the opposition,
science, sometimes it is right.
Yeah, but not in human, not in human morphology. And leaders need to accept their responsibility. You remember I was here, Chirabo, and you with our colleagues during the campaigns when the wave came. Even my brother at one time were with him in this very platform. And I did clearly say, and I'm glad that it has come to pass, that politics of excitement is not sustainable. You'd rather stay in your political party, use internal dynamics to fix what is not working in your party, make it work. As a leader, you need always to ask 3 questions in any organization, be it corporate, be it even family, be it anything. What is it that is working and why is it working? 2, what is it that is not working and why? 3, what is it that we need to do differently in order to get better results? Running away from the organization is not an option when you are considering those 3. You should stay in, put your efforts, your energy, your resolve, your ideas, and your brain to fix problems. But we have certain political leaders who always look for an opportunity to maintain and retain the office. And this is very, very common for the member of parliament. So we have people who will not stay anywhere as long as they know there is a possibility to become to remain an MP in a place X, they go for it. Now it is dangerous. One, you go to an outfit that has interests that are not common with yours. Either you have to adjust to their levels or they adjust to your level. Either way, you are not compatible. And it is just a question of time. This was even worse because the outfit was emerging with no really good political experience, exposure, or expertise. So you come with your grandiose ideas. You've been around for some time. They may buy in for some time, but as time goes on, they are regrouping to claim their space fully, because they are those that find themselves to be the original members of the idea. They originated the idea.
Which Mukaku said is dangerous.
And it is dangerous. And if you're not part of it, you remain an outsider all the time. That happens. You find there are meetings where you agree, and after you've agreed, there is another meeting to counter or to rubber stamp or to even take another position. So for my brother Mpuga, for me, I saw this coming. And it is even worse, given the way our politics is framed at the moment. You find that you have a leader of opposition, the de facto leader of opposition, who is the leader of the party that is in opposition. He's not in parliament. And you now have a leader of opposition, which ordinarily is junior to the party president, being the leader of opposition in parliament, with serious pecs around that office. You have a convoy, you have a lead car, you have a budget, you even send people out and everything. If you don't have a very mature person at the level of the president out, contradictions are bound to happen. Because national protocol recognizes you and it doesn't recognize the leader of the party. When we are in Kololo, they will announce the arrival of Mpuga even when the president is already seated, the president of the party. Now, if you don't have mature people, they may not hold that kind of contradiction. You have a budget, you have a lead car. If you are going somewhere, for you to go faster, you may now have to squeeze yourself in the convoy of the leader of opposition in order to arrive in style. These appear small things, but they are complicated when it gets to people who don't look at the big picture. Because if you are a strategic leader, those are things you can ignore. But when you are young, full of energy, and you are the one with the vibe, you imagine this man is because of you. So why is he enjoying that level of privilege, protocol, and shining? So these become contradictions. So I'm not surprised that it started coming up that this man wants to take over, this man is harboring presidential ambitions. Those things were bound to happen.
He's being used by your party. Those also
not at
came
all.
out.
These are dynamics from the party, and they come from the background. He's not part of their inner circle. They gave him that position for expediency. Right now, they are trying to recollect and get back to their level. Don't you feel surprised that Zake is brought back to be in the commission? Because these are seen to be the real activists, the original people who play to the game, the real ones who subscribe, honor, and take the principle to be above each and everything. They play ball. You know, for them, they really follow the spirit and the letter in terms of abhorring the principle. So those dynamics were bound to happen. And all those other categories of leaders who are seen to be in that, frame, who are not seen to be originals and actually, to be specific, the DP bloc within NUP is looked at with suspicion.
Well, unfortunately, Honorable,
their
the
party
time is
pursue
against
their
us.
political
I don't want to have
engagement.
issues with Ruben when it comes to sports, but I'm just going to beg you. I know there's so much to say. I'll just give each of you a minute to have your concluding remarks. Where do you see the end of it all, where we are standing somewhere?
Well, it's unfortunate because, I mean, what he has said
But it's very brief.
Accounts for 30% of it. But the real 70% can be demonstrated. And let me just use half a minute. If it is not Maguireism, how do you appoint Zake with the blood that he has, with what has just happened, back to that office? First of all, well knowing your methods are not going to work, and it's not but that you are not educated to that extent, because here you have the Rubongoyas who are teachers of lawyers. Don't you think that they don't understand? Because sometimes we think it is the other one. And even the other one was 3 years in parliament. He knows. How would you dare today? You have only 1 year and a half, and effectively 1 year, because in the other year we are basically engaging in it. You want to score. How do you appoint Zake? Well knowing he's not going to take up the post, well knowing he has encumbrances to do so, and you appoint him. Who are you playing for? Who are you giving the advantage to? Maguireism. Maguireism at play.
Ruben understands Maguireism. So much is coming up.
And Gorobashevism.
And Gorobashev's whatever. Honorable, just in a minute, please. Where do you see this?
I think we need to appreciate politics of excitement. It is not sustainable. Always stay within your framework and sort out your issues internally. You don't have to run to the public. My party, NRM, has had dynamics where members get disgruntled or whatever, but you find them staying and managing themselves within, and later on bouncing back with responsibility. So we have a lesson to teach these friends of ours of handling internal issues internally, not always running to the rooftop and start interesting the general public.
I must end here. I must apologize for my viewers. So many messages I didn't bother. I just wish we had more time, but I have to give room for Ruben to take us through sports, and he understands more of Maguireism, I hope. See you in the next hour. Good morning.
You can